We are back for another episode of this My Team Career Mode. If you haven't seen this series, make sure you go check out the playlist, which I'll put in the top right corner right about now. And if you have been following along, you'll know last time out in Monza, it was a bit of a struggle. I mean, we didn't have that great of pace. It wasn't dreadful, but we weren't anywhere near the points. So that's something that we want to change here in Japan. We do have a couple upgrades coming on in, and you can see only 6 points for us so far in the constructor standings. We're 4 points behind Haas. We've been 4 points behind Haas for a long time now, and we want to close that gap and try and mount a challenge for P7 in the championship, which would be a really strong result, and then hopefully we can move forward in the grid next season. But we've got to focus on trying to score some points at the latter end of this season, and you can see some of the upgrades coming in. We've got a big aero upgrade, which should help our straight line speed, and that is a big upgrade for Japan. And we're also going to actually upgrade our facility as well. 2.75 million into the resource point generation upgrade for the aerodynamics, and that will give us a little bit extra resource points as we move forward. And you can see, looking at the graph, the upgrades have worked. We are now, I guess, the 4th slowest team, you can look at it, or the 7th fastest. So we're going to be on the outskirts of points. We should hopefully be able to make it into Q2, or at least have a very good shot at it. We know Jack Doohan, he doesn't like to perform in our car, so we're going to have to be the ones that do it. As you can see, we're going through this S section. I love this track. This is one of my favorite tracks to race at. That first sector as well is so fun to drive. But as I was saying, we're going to have to be the ones that are probably going to make it through to Q2, because Jack Doohan has been struggling all season as he is fighting for his seat, because his seat's on the line. He's not scored any points. He's not got a near points at all this season. As we finish up our first lap, across the line we go. It's a P5 for now. It's a 27.7, but as we come back into the garage, you can see Jack Doohan is currently P15, and he's on the verge of making Q2. I mean, he's in a spot to make Q2, depending on how people do on their final laps. So are we. We're in P16 as well. The top 16 making into Q2, so we could have both cars into Q2 for the first time this season. This would be something for BamfordMB Motorsport, and we would be buzzing. We'd be over the moon. It would be showing that the upgrades are working. Well, you can tell the upgrades are working. It's currently P15, P16 as we're going through Spoon Corner right now. We're a little bit down on our time. We need to find a little bit of time to make sure that we squeeze our way through into Q2. Our teammate, I think he's already crossed the line, so you can see we are already through into Q2 no matter what we do at the end of this lap, but we still want to improve. It would be nice just to get ahead of our teammate, show him that we're still the #1 driver, and it is still our team. As through the last chicane, you can see we get a heap of time. It's up to the line. It's a 10th improvement, and Jack Doohan, get back down there, mate. We're up ahead of you. We're in P15. He's in P16, and we're letting him know what is up. You can see the Haas of Magnussen is out. You've also got Alpine getting knocked out as well. So, you know, a couple of shocks there. And for both of us to be through is quite special. Well, I mean, I'll take that any day of the week. I mean, I was shocked that Jack Doohan managed to get through, because we put full beans into that final lap to squeeze our way through. And we do a 27.7 on a set of used tyres for this new session. You can see Jack Doohan does a 27.5, and he is right on the cusp for a potential P3. I mean, you look, a bunch of people did get held up. The 2 Aston Martins, I think, got held up. That might be the pace of the Alfa Romeo and the Haas, but still, he's put himself P11 for now, and a huge chance at potentially making Q3. If not, starting inside the top 12, top 13. Doohan is cooking as we're on our final flying lap. We ourselves could make it into Q3, and you can see 3 tenths up. Hello, we're cooking something in Japan. What have we got in this middle sector? Just don't screw it up. We can get into Q3 once again. I think it'll be the first time since Silverstone. We got in Silverstone, an episode that you didn't see, but that'll be the last time we got into Q3 as we go round the hairpin, and we've bottled it. It's another BamfordMB bottle job. I mean, we love bottling it in qualifying. You see it all the time in PSGL, and we've done it once again in career mode, and we're peeling off into the pits, and it could have been a potential Q3, but instead it's only a P14. I mean, we would have been right on the cusp there, and you see Max Verstappen is out. He must have been held up on his flying lap. He's down in P11. Our teammate is starting P12. We're starting P14. Points is on the cards here in Japan.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles. It's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 circuit. And the drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. Keep an eye out for overtakes into the final chicane. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Albon, Verstappen, Doohan, Hulkenberg, the rookie, Stroll, Bottas, Magnussen, Ocon, Tsunoda, Sargent, Joe, and Nick de Vries. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
This is a bit of unfamiliar territory for our team to have both drivers inside the top 14, especially Jack Doohan. I don't think he's made it into Q2. He might have done once this season, but it's very, very rare he does. And to put it P12 as well, that is most certainly his best qualified performance. So something special from Doohan. But let's have a look at what we're going to do. We're going to start on the medium tyres, and we're just going to be a little bit more safe because we had a bit of tyre problems in Monza. So we're going to start on the mediums here today in Japan and see what we could do. You can see a bunch of people on the hard tyres, everybody else on the softs, and we're on the mediums. So I don't know what's going on. We're going to start on the mediums. We might go to the hards. We might switch it on to the softs, depending on how we feel in the race. I know it's a lot different track to Monza, and I feel as though the Monza track, having low downforce, that probably made us struggle on the tyres a little bit more when we're going into the corners because we were losing the rear end because of the lack of downforce instead of the tyre. But we just want to see. So we're starting on the mediums just to be safe, but we're ready to get underway as it's 5 red lights here in Japan and we are underway, and it's not a bad launch at all. We're up the inside of the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg already. See you later, fella. Jack Doohan, he's getting racy. He's going around the outside of Alex Albon. Go on, Jack. Oh my goodness me. We almost push him along as well, but we just hold on and we're in to P13. Jack Doohan side by side with Albon. If he can get ahead of Albon, that'll be huge. That's a Williams that we're also fighting in the constructors. Williams have 4 points so far this season. Albon on the hard tyres. Oh my goodness me, they both pretty much brake checked me, but we get through. Both of us are through on the Williams of Albon. It's P11 and P12 for BamfordMB Motorsport. This is unfamiliar territory. We don't know what we're doing up here, but we're absolutely loving it. Doing on the softs, we're on the mediums, we're cooking up something here in Japan. We're going to actually let him stay in front for a lap or two to see his pace. He is on the softs. He should have a little bit more pace than us, and we are on the mediums. So we're kind of letting him see if he can get a move on and find a way past Gasly, but you can see he's not really doing too much as he locks up into the corner, and that pretty much sums it up. I'm going to go for it now. He's locked up into the final chicane. He's costed us time. He's not making any inroads on Pierre Gasly, so we're going to go for the move. He does get the DRS, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and we're not quite close enough. Oh my goodness me. Our teammate almost just took us out of the Grand Prix. I don't know what happened there. Into that first corner, you just go flat out. I don't know why he slammed on the brakes, but that has caught us way, way off guard. And I don't know what's happened. Look, going into turn 1, he's braked way early. I don't know what he's doing there, but he's trying to take us out. That is outrageous. That is outrageous stuff. You have a look from a different angle. Yeah, oh my gosh, we were so close to touching his rear wing, and that would have been damage for us. Potentially him spinning out as well, and that could have been all over for BamfordMB Motorsport here in Japan, and it would have been no points in a place where it's looking really, really promising. So we've dropped behind Albon. We've actually done a solid job to recover that and only lose 1 place, but we're going to be wanting to get back past this Williams as soon as possible and then have a go at our teammate again, because we are not happy at all with what he's done as we go down the inside of Albon right here, which will lead to the outside for Spoon Corner. We give him the room on the inside, but he's going to drop behind us, and we say see you later to the Williams. Up into P12. Next up is Jack Doohan. You see him, look at him, that little prick. He tried to take us out. I tell you what, that's not a good way to get a contract for next year. Take it out your team owner, your teammate and your team owner. It's outrageous. So we're going to try and get him back down the straight. He doesn't have DRS on Gazzy. He's not really putting in very good lap times on those soft tyres. He's struggling a lot more with the race than he was in qualifying. And we're going to go for the move. We're going to send it down the inside so we don't have the same problem as what we did on lap 3. See you later, Jack Doohan. We're up into P11. Now we can cook. We can try and chase down Gazzy. He is on the hard tyre. And I think to get into the top 10 now is going to be difficult. We might need a safety car or something. Or maybe just a bad pit stop for Pierre Gasly and it's game on, because with 4 seconds behind, with about 10 laps to go now, the Alpine has got a little bit more pace than us. But all we need, all it takes is 1 retirement in the top 10, 1 dodgy pit stop from someone in the top 10, 1 safety car to come out at the right time, and it's game on. And we're going to try and stay out for as long as possible on these medium tyres, and then we are going to pit onto the softs. I think the tyres are not feeling too bad on these mediums, so we're going to go onto the softs at the end of the Grand Prix, and we're going to do it a lap after the soft runners behind go in, and they do go in now. So Jack Doohan into the pits along, I believe, with Nico Hulkenberg, and there's quite a few people into the pits. So we're going to push this following lap, and we're going to come into the pits the next lap and make sure we don't get undercut by these cars behind, because that would be tragic if we get undercut by Jack Doohan and by Nico Hulkenberg and more drivers as well, as Doohan comes out just ahead of Lance Stroll. So those are the drivers that we want to make sure we stay ahead. If we stay ahead of them, then we will be cooking on the soft tyres. As out the pits they come, Doohan's got a bit of clean air, and Ocon has got past Lance Stroll. Jack Doohan, P13. I tell you what, other than him trying to take us out, it has been a great drive from him, and he could be in for a potential points finish as well if there's a little bit of drama inside the top 10. Don't count Jack Doohan out just yet. He's on the hard tyre, but he can cook. He can cook later on. I think he's on the hards. He's either on the hards or the mediums. We'll actually find out right about now, as into the pits we go, and we need a good pit stop, and we will come out ahead of them because we've had a pretty solid in-lap. You can see Doohan coming around that fast left-hander right now. He's coming up to the chicane, so this has got to be a good pit stop. Into the pits. It's not bad. It looks all right. No, there's some problem with the rear left tyre, and that's about a 5-second pit stop, and that's going to put us behind him. That is outrageous. I think that's going to put us behind him. I mean, there's no way. Out of the pits we come. Yep, see you later. Jack Doohan says thank you very much. He's gone. Same with Ocon. Same with Stroll. Same with Bottas. And it's disaster for the BamfordMB Motorsport team. We're not used to being in this position. The pressure's just got too much for us. The pit crew have fumbled in the big moment, and we're down to P16. We could have come out ahead of Doohan, and we could be on the charge to Gasly up ahead. But no, we've come out behind Doohan, behind Albon, behind Stroll, behind Ocon, behind Bottas, and now we have to make this race work by making a few overtakes done as quickly as possible, try and find our way back into that P11 slot and hope for a retirement and hope for some drama at the front, which is very much possible. So we're not going to lose hope just yet. We're actually going to have a go at Bottas as we go around the outside. It will be the inside for Spoon Corner. So up the inside of the Alfa Romeo. See you later, fella. See you later. And we are up into P15 and we're cooking. We're cooking in Japan. We love this track and we could still be on for a points finish. So we're not going to give up just yet as we're coming up against Ocon. And this should be a pretty simple overtake. We're going to go down the inside. Look at that. Hello. We are cooking in Japan. I think also as well it helps racing in Japan because we've had just recently a PSGL race in Japan. I've done 2 PSGL races there. So I've actually practiced this track quite a bit, which means I think I'm on like 106 AI level right now I'm racing at. So I am pretty high AI level, and I've made it as difficult as possible because I kind of see where Jack Doohan is in practice and try and make it as close as possible because he is my teammate. That's the only reference I can really get, and I think I did a very good job at it this weekend. And as we go around the outside of Lance Stroll, look at that move. We're confident on these soft tyres, but yeah, I kind of gauge where our car is via the AI level in practice, and that's how I base it. So I think it's about 106 today, and we are cooking Jack Doohan on 106 as we're going to look for a move maybe into the final chicane. No, we're going to wait patiently and we're going to go for it down the straight. We get past Doohan. He's probably getting the radio over right now. Let Bamford through. Let Bamford through. He is faster than you. See you later, fella. Up into P12. Now it's just Albon and then Gasly, 9.2 seconds ahead. That's what happens when you have a stinky pit stop. We could be chasing down Pierre Gasly right now, and I think we could have maybe got him because we would have dumped all our ERS and we would have been going for it. Whereas stuck in a train, I mean, we're just losing time left, right, and centre as Jack Doohan has got to try and fend off the Aston Martin and Lance Stroll. The Aston Martin is going to be a little bit quicker, and those hards are going to be working a little bit better now. It's down the straight. You can see, look at that straight line speed from the Aston Martin. There's no DRS down here. He says, see you later, down the inside. That's a good move from Lance Stroll. Fair enough. And Doohan dropping down to P14. His race pace is not the same as his qualifying pace, and he is struggling a little bit on those medium tyres, and he might actually be dropping out of that DRS window of Lance Stroll, and he could be dropping a little bit further. But enough about Doohan as we're coming up on the rear of Alex Albon. Are we going to do what we did before and go down the inside? Oh, that was very close. That was the closest of them all. We almost grazed the wall going down the inside, but we want to make sure the move gets done before we have to brake into the double right-hander, and up we go into P11. We're going to push on now, try and break the DRS from Albon, and I mean, with only 2 laps to go, we've got about a 7-second gap to Gasly up ahead, and that doesn't seem like it's happening. And I'll tell you what is happening. Hulkenberg making a move on Doohan. Doohan's race, he's just falling backwards now. He should be able to hold on to P15 unless he can hold it through with Hulkenberg side by side, but Hulkenberg squeezes on through. Can he get the DRS exit that he needs? He's got DRS. Can he get the exit he needs? I don't think he can. He's not going to be close enough. Doohan will probably come home for a P15 unless with the slipstream. No, it's not going to be it for Jack Doohan. He's just fallen back a little bit as we head on to the final lap now. We're just trying to keep that gap to Alex Albon behind. You got about half a second to Albon. Those mediums are going to be working a little bit better than these softs now, so we've got to push. We've got plenty of ERS, so we've got plenty of ERS to use, so I am confident that we can hold on. There is no DRS zones. The only worrying part will be out of Spoon. If he is dumping his ERS out of there, he might be able to get close enough to have a go at us into the chicane, but it's all about this exit from the hairpin where we could just gain a little bit more time. You can see in the top left, there you go, it's about 7-8 tenths, and I think we've done just about enough to stay ahead of Alex Albon as Lando Norris is rounding the final corner. He's celebrating. He wins in Japan with Charles Leclerc, George Russell and Piastri coming through, and that McLaren is a rocket ship later on in the season. No Red Bull to be seen until you get down to a P7, and we're holding on to this P11. You can see how close Albon is. If we didn't get a good exit out of that hairpin, he could have had a go at us, but we're going to survive into the chicane. It's going to be the second best result of the season with a P11. So unfortunate not to get points because we had a phenomenal race. We pretty much did everything we needed to here in Japan, and our team actually let us down with the poor pit stop. But I think we were also unlucky that there was 0 retirements and nothing happened inside the top 10. No safety car, no red flag, nothing crazy happened. So it was just a P11 on raw pace, which I think we can be very proud of. But there is only a few more races to go, so we do have to pick up points when we have the chance, and I think this was a glimmer of hope. There was some chance here, and it is a little bit disappointing to come away with no points, but next time out in Qatar, we will be going there with full confidence. It's a very high-speed track, and I think that might suit our car a little bit as well. So it's a P11 for us, a P15 for Doohan, showing that it's not just me, it is the car that is improving. P15 for Doohan is the best result of the season, so a solid performance from him, and we're also going to get both sponsors through as well, because the sponsors is overtake 6 different drivers, I believe, and also get a top 12 finish. And we certainly got a top 12 finish ahead of Ocon, who is our rival. Jack Doohan, go on then, mate, go up into acclaim level. We're loving life here. And I think overall, as a team, that is our best team weekend of the season, even though we walked away with 0 points. So I think it was a good result, and just unlucky. Still only 6 points in the Constructors, 2 points ahead of Williams and Alfa Romeo, 4 behind of Haas. So we do need to pick up points if we want to close that gap. And it is going to be difficult to pick up 4 points in the remaining races. And we do only have 5 races to go. Qatar, Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, and Abu Dhabi. I am excited for Qatar. I am excited for Brazil. Those are probably my 2 best races of the 5 remaining. So we'll see if we can pick up points there and try and close that gap down to Haas. Try and get that P7 in the championship. If you are enjoying this series, make sure you go ahead, leave a like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you are enjoying it, and I'll be sure to post more along with F1 Manager and maybe some Football Manager as well. So yeah, make sure you go ahead, leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.